Have you heard about the story of this daring community in the eastern part of Nigeria called Ubise?
About the Mbaise community in Imo State.
Mbaise cannot the Mbaise man. We're talking to people.
A name that is so loud and daring in the ears of the Nigerian people, and yet threatens the comfort of those who could not manipulate their ways against the incorruptible stance that backs the fate of this daring community.
In this whole country, there is nobody that is as wicked as an Ubise man.
If you want to know who actually made that comment that went viral till today, watch the Chronicles. You will know the truth, and you find out that it's actually a misinterpretation of an event.
On this note, the stigma that was built around them in an attempt to deform the character they could not spare.
Hi, Eva. You didn't come here when we go to the restaurant. It's unfair now.
Yes, I didn't, because you didn't come in yesterday. Instead, you went to Thelma.
Yes, so high five. You did the right thing.
So it's not a payback thing, I guess. Well, what can Ubise girl do? Colonial die, Colonial burial.
The active participation of this community in the British colonial and post-colonial era against all forms of slavery, tyranny and resistance, the oppression and repression of Africa, were defiled by the stigma that was created by those who could not dare to defeat them in all sense and sound reasoning.
There's been an unflattering age-long saying about the people of Mbaise, the community in Imo State, southeast Nigeria.
So, it is only by crawling that a child learns to stand.
Grandma, that's why we're here. We want you to tell us, since Daddy doesn't know much about Ubise.
Yes, Grandma. Why should the world see an Ubise man as a bad person?
It may sound needless to say, I think Mbaise, but I make bold to say, Ihe can be seen and Igbo Akolam. Meaning, I shall not be void of people like Ubise in Igbo tribe. This stigma that was created and instilled by Herod M. Douglas of Britain in 1905 and Kabaka of Oriental Brothers in the 1990s defines my claim in this broadcast.
Even an Hausa man knows about Ubise. What could have been the problem?
Understanding the twist and genesis of Mbise's ailments and its true connotation, I am now Sinchinemere Makachukwu. The Mbise in me is now speaking. Alright, Mbise is my root and the only home I have and know as far as I live. And as an indigenous person of this daring community, I am inclined to the in-depth knowledge of its origins. Mbise, a daring community in a daring nation. I call it Mbise, the daring city. This community has been humiliated for a long time. For actions they should be celebrated and honored for. How on earth to believe the hypocrisy of the hypocrites? Mbise, the community that conquered defeat against the colonial masters and credited Imo State, the land of hope, before its emanation to Eastern Heartland. Mbise, the heartland of Imo State, that caused Douglas to place the first stigma on this just and principled community after several failed attempts to conquer them like every other community in Nigeria that proved to no avail. Do you know that the strength of Nigeria, the sovereign state, rose from the Mbise's courage to resist and defeat the British colonial masters after conquering the eastern central and the southeastern states of Nigeria? This incident was the first to mark Mbise a danger zone and also spotted them the victims of their own conscience. The second remark on Ubise as the most dangerous city made higher waves across Nigeria when Stewart was killed in his attempt to spy on Mbise warriors in their hideout around Ubise territory during the Anglo-Arab War that broke out from 1901 to 1902. Please note, Mbise did not go looking for him to kill, he came spying on them. Nonetheless, Harold M. Douglas from that point prescribed this community a terrorist and the most dangerous city in the eastern part of Nigeria, and later came with his troops and killed many. Yet, this community did not surrender like every other community in Igbo clan. Now someone may ask, who is Harold M. Douglas? Harold Molly Douglas is a dictator who came to Nigeria under the British Overseas Service in 1897 as District Commissioner of Calabar and the first District Commissioner of Owerri, under which Mbaise was placed. Douglas' reputation for abuse and tyranny, including the British colonial imposition in Africa, led to the intense hostility of Europeans in Owerri and contributed to the killing of Stewards by Mbise warriors. The Dr. Sawario, Kabaka, and Mbise's next saga only amplified the dot in a circle that was drawn decades ago by those who wished to be like the Mbise who in those days worked with one mind, spirit, and soul to the envy of others. The envious oneness of our forefathers endorsed the slogan we use today as Isewotu, which came from the complete word Isewotu, don't dare them.
Oh, sounds like a good idea, but you go to security, man, just in case anything happens. But please, whatever you do not fight Mbise people.
Mbise community, the most significant fraction of the movement that earned Nigeria the giant of Africa. An average Mbise indigene will not look for anyone's trouble, but they have a bitter and dangerous venom against anyone that tries to outsmart them. Hence, Mbise the daring city. Do you know Ojukwu was not able to declare the Biafran War until he consulted with the Mbise warriors and get their full support to begin war? Do you know that the Biafran War was declared in Ahara in Mbise by Ojukwu himself and was called the Ahara Declaration? Do you know that the late Ikemba himself came to Ahara in Mbise in 2003 to thank them for their immense support to the struggles of the Igbos? The significance of Mbise is peace and oneness, hope in the eastern heartland. Mbise, the seated giant against the suppression of oppressors, with a unique aura that is so there. The principles of war against injustice, terrorism, and sabotage are the qualities that represent the fate of this daring community. Of course, there are criminals in every community. At the same time, crime is not a resident of any society and should not be used to determine the character of any community. Brief from AIE standpoint, projecting Mbise the daring city. I am Nelson Chinemere Makachukwu, a son and bona fide citizen of this daring community. Peace to the world.